Hello, beautiful soul. Welcome. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Ailia, and this is Aletheia Tarot, where we will be gently tapping into the flow of energy and unveil what it is you need to know now. These are all timeless readings, so trust that you found this video when you are meant to. Please use your intuition and take only what resonates with you and leave the rest with love for someone else to find. Thank you, spirit guides, angels, and the love of the cosmic consciousness. Help me see clearly and speak truthfully what messages are meant to come through today. You know, it's funny because I wasn't even going to post a reading today. This kind of energy hit me rather impulsively. So let's see what it's all about. Going to start with the clarifying life situations oracle deck. Two cards right away. Embrace courage, open your mind, learn from experiences, and let answers unfold in your journey. Vortex of creativity, spiral into your creative vortex, unleashing imaginative power to manifest your dreams into reality. Wow, that's really amazing. So some of you might be starting a new project, or you're feeling some steam towards continuing a project you were already on. And so maybe you felt like you met sort of a standstill for a moment, and that's why this Embracing Courage card is coming up. Rough road, prepare carefully before you continue, for it's a long journey ahead. You know, when the card came down, it was like this, and I flipped it up this way. But if I turned it over this way, it would say, take precautions, remain vigilant and receptive, learning from each revelation as you navigate life's journeys. And I think that both of these messages were meant to come through on this card today. So you are now, like, for some of you, you might be feeling the pull or the drive to restart or to start your creative project or your creative journey. And I think that's amazing, to open yourself up to this flow and to allow your creativity to be the vehicle that drives you towards the manifestation that you deserve. It is asking you to find that courage within you to continue to keep going, especially with the take precautions and rough road card. What I'm hearing is, yes, you will be supported along the way, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be easy. That doesn't mean that you're not going to meet challenges along the way that is going to ask you to strengthen your will and your tenacity. I wonder if there's one more card that wants to come through. And this also is a reminder not to get discouraged when the going gets rough. A quote I read recently that I have written up on my chalkboard on the side, it says, "Difficulty is not a signature of failure." And so a lot of times when we're trying something new and we want to, we have this job and we really want to push ahead, and then we meet these speed bumps, or we meet these divergent areas in the road that ask us to have to sort of take a detour in order to continue, we can kind of meet that as discouragement, and we see these difficulties as as like, oh, this is never going to happen for me, or we get into these narratives in our head that really end up keeping us from doing what it is that we are already doing, because it's every step towards your goal is still a step closer to the finish line. And knowing that there's going to be some rough times ahead that you can take precautions on, even just having that mental preparation, I think, will be a big help when you meet those challenges. A continuation of the quote from earlier was, "Challenges sharpen my wit and brings out the best of my abilities." And I think a lot of times when we reframe challenges in this way, and we see challenges as an opportunity to go deeper and to love ourselves more and more fully, more wholly, that will really sort of really help lead us beyond this imaginary barrier that we seem to be coming up against. Judgment card. Oh my goodness. Right away I'm seeing how the Judgment card and this Vortex of Creativity card have very similar colors. And so this is telling me that this Vortex of Creativity is actually a calling from the divine. This is not just something that is coming by on a whim. This is something that is deeply spiritual in a lot of ways, and is sort of like part of a higher order. And it's also telling me that when you follow that flow of creativity, when you allow yourself to manifest your dreams, this is actually you aligning with divine energy that's coming in, that is wanting to manifest in the third dimension through you. Two of Cups, yeah. This is a lot of love here. Now this could be love for a project, because again we're talking about this project that's going on, but this can also be a personal love, like a human love between you and another being, and you and another person. Sometimes the creative project is not just an art piece or a music piece or a written piece. Sometimes the creativity comes in how we relate to other people. Sometimes the creativity comes in how we nurture and nourish our relationships. And I see too with this Courage card, it's like reminding you that it actually takes a lot of courage to allow yourself to open and to be vulnerable with another being. It takes a lot of courage to allow yourself to be soft, to really like shift away from fight and flight responses and enter into this space of cooperation with another person. I'm seeing now too this rough road and this need for courage. It's like, you know, when you are on this journey for a deeper and higher love, and it's two spiritual beings meeting on this like physical 3D realm, and we all have our baggage, we all have our trauma, we all have our triggers, and it's one thing to understand that these are things that we all experience and are mirrored to us a lot of times in relationship. But it's a totally other thing to use these things as excuses to behave a certain way, or use these things as excuses to behave poorly towards another person, or to be disrespectful of another person. And so there is this energy I'm feeling right now too of like, if this is talking about a relationship for you, and again, this can be a relationship, this can be an art project, it could be a business project, but it is something that asks you to tap into your creativity. And Two of Cups is like this very open, soft flow, even exchange between two beings. I'm seeing that there's going to be some things that might get brought up. There's going to be like, how can I phrase this? Like, things are going to get surfaced either in you or in the other person, or in you if this is a project that you're working on, but something is going to come to the surface for healing. When you move through the healing, you will be able to birth something new with this Ace of Discs, which is the Ace of Pentacles. There's going to be like this new way of being that you are going to create once you are able to courageously move through these challenges that are presented to you. Once you're able to courageously choose love over fear, it's like once you do that, you split this timeline. You either react from kind of like conditioned responses to things, and in that way you kind of stay along the same timeline, or you shift your reaction, you shift from reaction to responding, or you shift from reaction to just taking a pause and responding with love. You are birthing open a new timeline with this Ace of Discs. And this is not only something that you birth for yourself, but then you also lean it's like you lean the scale for the whole world in that same direction. 8 of Discs. And this is about the work. This is about the work that you are doing, the necessary work that you are doing that needs to be done right now. So again, like, because this is not a personal reading, this can be about a person or a project, but this is talking about steady, consistent work, like incremental growth every single day. This is rarely about like a huge leap in, something very advanced, or, like a big jump into something new. This is about the slow incremental changes you make every single day, amazing, every single day, to create this new reality that you are manifesting. We just got the Ace of Cups. So this is amazing because you have the Judgment card, which is about this divine incoming of energy, this inspiration, this sort of calling that wakes you up. And then we have the Ace of Discs and the Ace of Cups. So whatever it is that you are doing, there is so much love here. If this is a project that is full of passion. This is a project that is, it's like you can't not do it. You just have to pursue it because it's like your whole being wants to jump forward into it. If this is a person that is really opening you up into a deep spiritual love, and that can be really scary. If you have lived your life and have experienced relationships that were unbalanced, not harmonious, and suddenly you are met with a being that sees you and hears you and understands you and honors you and respects you, even though it is something that you've always wanted, it can be a little bit scary to actually receive everything you've ever wanted, because then it asks you to step into integrity. And that could be part of the rough road ahead, is like having to recognize the areas in yourself that is still self-sabotaging, or is unconsciously moving through a narrative that makes you feel less than worthy of. There's really, really big love coming into your life right now. We have Judgment card, Two of Cups, Ace of Cups, Ace of Discs. All of these are really like expansive, very grounding, very heart-opening. And this is not like a candle burning at both ends kind of situation. This is something that's like a steady pace. Every day there's that work that goes in. Every day there is the attention to this thing that you are already doing. It's kind of like, I'm just seeing this kind of like thing in my head now where it's like, it's not like one of those, if this is a relationship again, it's not like one of those relationships where, you're love bombed for like 3 weeks and then suddenly they're not calling you back or anything like that, but you have the first 3 weeks of like a very exciting thrill and your heart's always racing, you get like sweaty before you see them or anything. This is one of those that are it's kind of like a slow burn, where there's a meeting of the minds, a meeting of the hearts, and then the it's like the stuff that grows over time and is going to be stronger and have deeper roots because of the time that it takes to slowly allow this thing to grow, to take root, and to blossom. I'm also hearing right now too, like if you are single and you are wanting a relationship like that, some of this vortex of creativity is about you being very intentional in manifesting what it is that you want and not allowing yourself to settle for something that that resonates with a past version of you. And those could also be the precautions that are being highlighted for you right now, because when you are wanting to manifest something new, sometimes the universe will test you to see if that's really what you want. Sometimes the universe will test you by giving you something that is still of resonance with what it is that you used to be attracted to, used to be attached to, just to kind of be like, are you really done learning the lessons here? And so to enter this vortex, there's like power behind that word. To enter this vortex, you have to be very, very intentional about exactly what you want and trusting that you deserve it, so that you don't allow yourself to settle for less. Lusty, Moon's Daughter. Interesting. Card number 38. Ooh, that's my cat. Hi, buddy. So the Fairies Oracle is relatively new for me, so I'm just going to see what the guidebook has to say. Light cast in shadows, spiritual guidance, illumination, riddles. Okay. It is she who, with her bright light, tends the gate of revelation, showing us the way through by illumination, while her sister helps guide us through the gate of despair. Lyste's gate is so much more fun. Yet in the process of guiding us, she may pull a veil of cloud across the face of her mother, the moon, and 3 steps later we will fall into a bog. That should wake you up, she thinks, smiling wisely. She disapproves of sleepwalking, which is something that most of us humans do a great deal of the time. The night contains too much magic and beauty and wisdom to walk through it unseeing. You may find her activities helpful, you may find them frustrating. How you take them is entirely up to you, but they are intended to help you awaken. You may be finding apparently random events and ideas are falling into a pattern and beginning to make sense to you. Things may be flowing more easily than you are accustomed to, and your decisions and choices may be bringing an unusually high degree of success. Psychic abilities, hunches, intuitions, foreknowings are becoming clearer and making more sense. Trust the process. So this actually goes so well with the reading that we just had, because when you are entered into this vortex of creativity, when you are here in this realm of creation, your flow is like on par with the flow of the universe. And so that means that every step of the way you have to trust your intuition. And this again goes back to sort of what we were saying earlier about like how the universe might test you before it gives you what you want. Part of knowing what does and does not serve you is trusting your intuition. And I think a lot of times we may fumble because we are enticed by something, even though there is a part of us that is warning us against, dealing with it. And so this is very much hand in hand that says, like, if you are entering something right now, or if you're, whether it's a project or a person, there's a great need for you to be incredibly intentional with exactly what you want to bring into reality for yourself and for the rest of society, and to not allow yourself to get sidetracked or distracted by something that is shiny, when what you really want is something that is going to feed your heart and your soul. I hope that this was helpful for you. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you liked this reading and you found it helpful, please like my video, and you're also welcome to subscribe to the channel, as I would love to build a community here on YouTube. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I look forward to reading for you next time. Bye.